We're going to get this show on the road. Get my notes out. Okay. Alrighty. All right, I just want to welcome everyone today. This is going to be the 29th anniversary of the State of the City address. So, further ado, I'm going to get to reading here, and I'm going to try to look up from time to time, so hopefully you guys don't grade me too hard. All right, so my name is Bobby Wagner. I'm the mayor of Destin. I appreciate everyone's time tonight for coming out. This is a very exciting time for me. I think we're in just a great situation for the city, personally, businessly, and with the community. So I'm just very excited to see the community here to support what we have done and where we are going. So with that being said, when I ran for mayor, I ran on the platform of reclaiming, sustaining this community, reviving, reclaiming, and sustaining our community. And to be honest, that original idea has completely changed. Shocker. I was solely focused on the immediate needs of the community and our environment. But after knocking on hundreds of doors, talking to thousands of citizens, being on council for a year and being a part of this body for 2 strategic plans, I now realize what the theme is and what we all had in common. And that is the need to be connected. And that is going to be my theme tonight for the State of the City address. Tonight, I will be walking through those different connections that we can make and the differences it will make to make this area as beautiful and to just create a community that we are all proud to call home. Last week, city staff and council held an all-day strategic planning session, and here's where I'd like to recognize and show appreciation for the connections of our amazing staff, our council, thank you guys for showing up, and for everyone in the city that comes out as a citizen, that reports, that comes to the committee meetings, the committee members. I appreciate each and every one of your guys' time. Everyone shares the focus of making sure our locals, our environment, and our businesses have what they need to make this city the best place to live, work, and play. There you go, Shane. So there we go. So I want to go through, to ensure that we all stay on task, the council and the city staff have prioritized 6 strategic goals that we had adopted in the 2022 session. Tonight, I'd like you to walk through those goals, and while doing so, I'd like to invite everyone to move away from a scarcity mindset and really embrace and lean towards a cooperative and a creation mindset. Meaning I would love for all of you to be open to the endless possibilities of what we can create when we revive our sense of connection and community with all of those who have a common goal and who love Destin. The very first strategic plan, and it's a mouthful, is the first strategic goal is to be a financially sound city providing service excellence. Years ago, the primary funding for the city budget was from our millage rate, or the city's portion of the overall property taxes. Out of the city council's vision at the time, by recognizing and using our key connections, the city has focused to find additional revenue to support our infrastructure and projects from sources other than our residents. For example, as stated in the 2023 budget, the city expects to spend nearly $23 million in capital improvement funds, along with $1 million from our general funds. Those capital improvements are not coming from us. That is outside sources coming from our strategic partners that we've created through those connections. Those improvements will go to our stormwater, it will go to our parks, and more importantly, it will go to our citizens and our safety to make everyone just more appreciative of this city. The emergency stormwater pumps were secured through our 2021-22 state budget appropriations request that was supported by both Representative Pat Maney and Senator George Gaynor. Thank you guys so much. It's just amazing to see what we can do at all levels of government. This is just one example of the possibilities that we have created through our power of connection at the state level. The linear park design appropriation request has in the 2022-2023 budget, and that is something we're working on right now as we speak. This is a grant of $270,000, and it's a matching grant from us. Both Representative Maney and Senator Gaynor has also supported this request, and we want to thank them again for the continued support in bringing state dollars back to our city and our citizens. And this is a critical grant to help us create a linear park multi-use trail and create that into a reality that I saw on the 2000 Vision Destin, workshop that we had. So we are almost beyond 2 decades later. We are now getting state funding to make these projects a reality, which, I'm so glad I'm here now and not having to wait 20 years for some of these projects. So I really found a good time to be a part of the city government at the local level. While our citizens are our top priority, we must remember that real change and real progress has to start from within. So in order for our city to be better service to our citizens, we must have a fully staffed and efficient workforce. Council established our number one priority and our number one objective to offer livable wages and benefits to attract and maintain high caliber qualified staff. This city deserves the best, and now we are in a position to get the best and hold them. And we have a lot of examples of that sitting in this room tonight, so I appreciate all the new staff members, as well as the ones who have been here for decades. I think that's what really makes this city unique and special, is the mixture and the variety of qualifications and time that people have given to us. Our employees are the foundation of the city. So we ensure the foundation is strengthened and maintained so that we can build an even stronger and more connected community through our city and through our staff. Our strategic goal number 2 is to provide and enhance a quality of life and safety for our families. I think this is one of the most important ones, and really I think everyone can agree with that statement. I want to highlight a few facts related to this goal and again illustrate the possibilities that happen when we create collaborative connections through each other. One of the Sheriff's Office's proudest accomplishments for 2022 in regards to the city of Destin is the decline in vehicle burglaries. In 21, we had 108 vehicle burglaries that took place inside the city limits. In response, the Sheriff's Office took an approach of educating victims, targeting offenders, and through a public service campaign, what is now called Intelligent Lead Policy, to identify areas of increased vehicle burglaries and known offenders. The number of vehicle burglaries in Destin is decreased by 68%. So that is not a fluke. By having the Sheriff's Department work with our citizens, with their Ring cameras, with businesses, using technology, we have now shown a significant decrease in something that I don't think any of us want here. So to have it almost down 68%, I think really is a testament to technology and community and the power, again, of communication. The city continues to contact with our local schools to ensure sporting events have a place in the operation. With that being said, I'd like to add that the Morgan Sports Center is fully booked this summer for tournaments, and our city leagues are completely at capacity. So with that being said, I look forward to connecting further to create other possibilities to house all ages of citizens when they want to recreate on our fields. Another way we are showing appreciation and enhancing the quality of our life for our local residents is by utilizing our connections with Henderson Beach State Park. I remember as a kid going here, we always had our passes, and that got us in. And it's amazing that a good idea continues to keep going. So I'm super proud that this is in existence still today. But the problem is there's only 700 people used it last year, and I was one of them. So I want to just use this opportunity as a PSA. If you live inside the city limits and you don't have your parking pass or your Henderson Beach State Pass, you're really missing out of some of the values and a lot of the things that we give the residents to make sure that we love and appreciate everything you guys do. The third strategic goal is economic development and revitalization. Our community development is critical to economic development and revitalization of our city. While campaigning, I found that one of the biggest frustrations that we had as a city was our building permit. So by utilizing technology and increasing our communication with our citizens, we have now created a process that has decreased the time by over 50%. I think it's a little bit more, but that was a safe number that I knew was right. While moving through the permitting system, we can ensure that everyone conforms to the guidelines of the code established by council. The valuations of construction projects during past to now, in 2021, we had $98 million worth of permit construction. In 21, we had $172 million worth of permitting. That is a huge number, and that means we are on a good path for growth, but we need to make sure that we grow strategically, sustainably, and for the residents. For the Harbor District, the city has now replaced the wooden decks all around, and now we have a more resilient and sustainable material, and it looks much, much better. We are currently updating the design of Clement Taylor Park renovations, as well as nearly completing our favorite Royal Melvin Heritage Park at the harbor. Now that we've revitalized the past, we are now looking forward to the future, which is where possibilities are created. Our Main Street City Center is now part of the discussion, and it is up to us to not only come together, but to think about this. And it is this generation to define the Destin's future and solve some of our biggest problems and challenges right here on Main Street. The fourth strategic goal is to have an effective and efficient and aesthetically pleasing infrastructure. So I can't think of a better project than the undergrounding of 98 and eventually all of Destin. I think this really brings us into the 21st century, and I think not only is it aesthetically pleasing, but it hardens our infrastructure, it makes us more resilient to natural disasters, and you guys know me as the tree guy, so here we go with my spiel. It will now not only create a aesthetically pleasing streetscape, but it's also going to protect our beautiful heritage trees from being what I like to call butchered from Florida Power and Lights. And it's not their fault, it's just we need these things underground, and it's time to do things the right way. What I'm most excited about, I am excited because it will not only increase everyone's aesthetic view of the corridors, it won't only just be a resiliency to hurricanes, but it's just one thing of showing that Destin is going to be on the forefront of how cities are supposed to be built and utilized and maintained moving forward. With 5 million people coming here every year, it's not, while our number one client is always going to be you guys here in the audience and the citizens watching online, it's also about inspiring those 5 million people who come here to bring something back to their own town. I think it's so important, and it's up to us to not only preserve and protect our heritage, but also get other people inspired to bring that kind of ideas and innovation back home, wherever they may live. Our fifth strategic goal is to improve mobility and connectivity. As we all know, traffic here in Destin is horrible. There's no way around it. But what we can do is start thinking out of the box and start addressing these things and start communicating with other agencies in our area like we have in the past. Walton County, Okaloosa County, we even have a board that's called Okaloosa-Walton Transportation Planning Organization. It's up to us to work at all levels of government to come up with ideas and solutions that really think outside the box, because there's only so many lanes we can create. At some point, we need to come up with other ideas to alleviate traffic. Other than Highway 98, well, I guess I'll have one more little fact here for Highway 98. There's a few other wins that I'm very proud of that come into the mobility plan that we've worked on. One of which is a local business here in the area. It's called Chick-fil-A. If you guys have been here during the summer, they back up all the time. And you know what? It's not our fault that we're addicted to their nuggets and sauce, because I know I am. But I want to thank Mr. Tripp Hill for leading by example and creating a solution by communicating and working with our city and our community development to come up with a solution to that issue. It's just amazing to see what good people will do given great situations. So with that, the next one being, now that after 2 decades of discussion, I'll call, we are now posed and ready to complete and finish the Crosstown Connector. There we go. The beach acquisition program is in full swing, just like we've seen here with Tarpon Beach, and I believe this is a great example of what we can continue to do with partnerships and communication at our county partnerships. So I want to thank all the county commissioners, the TDC, and everyone that has allowed us to gain back control of our natural resources. Regardless of what the state thinks or does with beaches, if it's in the public land and it's inside the city limits, it is up to us, and we have our own destiny to write inside those beach lines. And I want to do so only and very specifically without eminent domain. I think public partnerships is the key to this, and I just wanted to make sure that I am not in the business of taking anyone's backyard, but just taking and cooperating with people when the time's right, creating purchases that are economical, that we can keep our natural beauty and these beaches under our control. Lastly, Okaloosa County pedestrian pathway on the Okaloosa Island to Destin. I'm really excited for this because as the Brooks Bridge is going to be complete in hopefully 5-7 years, I'm definitely going to take my electric bike that I'll have by then and go to the island. And I think, we all know that backs up, and there's a lot of times where we'd rather stay home in the summer. So allowing these pathways, whether it's to our neighborhoods or to our to the pier, it's important to have not just vehicles as the only mode of transportation in our community. So as this connection becomes activated online on Okaloosa Island, I'm going to charge Destin to not only accept that road, but to continue that through Destin and hopefully make it to the east side to our Walton County neighbors lines. I think it's so crucial that we not only have mobility internally for our citizens, but to allow long-range mobility through both counties and both cities from Fort Walton all the way to Walton County. I will absolutely be using that. Our next and most important goal, in my opinion, will be the strategic goal that I want to mention is going to be the Green and Sustainable Environment Initiative. This goal is all about the city's emphasis on natural open space and continued focus to keep Destin one of the most beautiful places in the world. We are the luckiest fishing village, and that is a resource that we have come to know, love, and be famous over. So it's only right that we give back and preserve the natural resources that allowed all of us to be here. Regardless of the industry that you're in, it can always be tapped back to natural resources, whether it's the water, the land, the beaches. We are all interconnected in this one, and we must stay together to make sure that we preserve what we were given. At this point I want to kind of say thank you to some of these partnerships here that really make this a reality when it comes to preserving our natural environment. We have the TDC, which is our Tourism Development Council at the county level, the county commissioners, Trust for Public Land, Department of Environmental Protection, Florida Wildlife, Florida Power and Lights, and all these other entities that are able and willing to help us to make sure and preserve our environment. Some of the initiatives that we've been taking this past year is looking into city electric vehicles, charging stations, establishing a water quality fund to ensure reoccurring revenue is available to protect our water, the overhaul of a pump that I think is impressive. Our harbor pump now cycles 14.4 million gallons of Gulf water into our harbor daily during peak season. As a diver and as a part of Divers Down Pollution Project, when we're out there picking up trash, there is a complete difference before and after that harbor was in. So our public works team and everyone who has made an impact on making sure our waterways have a healthy and visible quality to them, I just want to thank you. Michael Burgess, thank you guys so much for putting that up. And then lastly will be the Youth Council. And I have done some beach cleanups, and now together we're actually working at creatively reducing hazardous materials that have made their way into our waterways and beaches. So not only working with our citizens, but also our youth, because that's the next generation. So we got to teach them what we know, and I'm sure they have some stuff for us to learn as well. As for the workshop tonight, the city and our connection to DEP and working on Joe's Bayou Recreation is just another example of what happens when we can communicate at all levels of government. In the recent years, we have secured more than $40 million in grant fundings. Again, this is not our money, but we are graciously taking it and using it to improve our community. To me, the goal of having a green and sustainable environment is what we need most to focus on. None of all of these other initiatives matter if we destroy the very thing that brought us all here to begin with. Everything that I have mentioned tonight could not have been accomplished without the established connections with individuals, businesses, departments, agencies, local and state government. So with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone in this room. Thank you to our county commissioners, to our regional councils who look at things at a broader scope at the Panhandle level, to Pat Maney, Representative Pat Maney, and Senator Steve Gaynor. I just think that it's amazing what happens when you look at all levels of government and you focus on the citizen. So with that, I believe that we are entering a new chapter in Destin, and I feel that it is important that we write it all together. So with all that being said, I now realize what is my calling as your mayor of Destin. For these next 4 years, it is going to be my goal to not only revive, reclaim, and sustain for us, but those who are connecting and communicating with us. Our connections to our partners, our connections to our neighboring communities, our connections to our business leaders, our connection to nature, and most importantly, our connection to each and every one of us in this room, online, and who call Destin home. Thank you. Awesome. So with that being said, our workshop is going to start at 6 p.m., so we got a little break. If you guys have any questions, I will take them personally. I'll turn the mic off. We can go one-on-one. And other than that, I'm excited for the next part, which is all about connection and community again, where we discuss and figure out exactly what we're going to be looking for in Joe's Bayou. So thank you, guys.